Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special episode, not only because I am back in my office and I am home from tour, but also because today's drama that I'm talking about has to do personally with me in regards to my coverage on the SuperMega story that happened a few months ago on my channel and on many other places on the internet. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you probably know what's going on and at least some of what has been said about me and others in the comments of my video, but I know that most of you are probably very confused right now, so I'll catch you up. Now, I wanted to talk about this sooner, but I was afraid that bringing it up would cause even more harassment against myself and the people around me and others in this situation. But because of just how bad it has really gotten, I want to publicly and fully explain my perspective and try to resolve it in the best way I can. A few months ago, I made two different videos about a controversy that happened with a YouTube channel by the name of SuperMega. The controversy revolved around a sexual assault that happened to an artist and a friend of SuperMega's by another one of their close friends who also worked for the channel. Both people were highly associated with SuperMega, and the actual instance of the sexual assault happened under Matt Watson's roof. Now, the artist who was sexually assaulted made a video months after this incident detailing what happened between her, Don, her assaulter, and the rest of the SuperMega team. Now, Lex, the artist at the center of the story, is dating a close friend of mine who you are all familiar with. That would be Ethan is Online. Lex posted her story, and I was asked by her and Ethan to potentially talk about it on my channel because I've talked about similar situations in the past. I watched her video, and a few days later, I posted a video covering everything she said in the video, including the reports of two other people who spoke out about SuperMega, one of them being a former employee of theirs who used to be friends with Ethan and Lex at the time of her video releasing. Now, after I released this initial video, SuperMega released two videos detailing their side of the story, where they admitted their faults in a lot of areas, but also provided evidence as to why they believed that a lot of these claims were made in bad faith to hurt their channel, specifically targeting Layden's response as a highly falsified story that could not be trusted. Now, in one of these videos, Matt Watson claimed that a lot of these channels speaking out against them were directly tied to Layden, and even made the false claim that I am close friends with Layden, pushing the narrative that he was just a disgruntled ex-employee who orchestrated these people to speak out negatively against SuperMega and ruin their career. Now, I want to expand on my feelings on Layden and the way that I think he hurt Lex's story and the reputation of so many people around him, but I will come back around to it after my summary. A major point of SuperMega's videos also focused on comments made by Lex and Layden about Matt and Ryan's late friend Daniel, who took his life several years ago. Specifically, Lex and Layden made claims about hearing Matt and Ryan call Daniel a coward, among many other things, and talked about how it changed the way they looked at SuperMega. But in their response, Matt and Ryan talk about how their feelings of grief around their late friend should not have been a part of Lex and Layden's statements, and they felt like it was extremely inappropriate to bring this up and use it against them. Now, I believe this part is important here, and I will be expanding on it later in the video, but I just want to make it clear that Daniel should not have been mentioned in anyone's videos about the situation, including Lex. Because it was a part of multiple stories that I was summarizing in my video, I, of course, decided to include it as valuable information, but the purpose of my video on SuperMega was to highlight the stories that were told, not give my own personal story on the situation. Bringing up Daniel was purely part of reporting that story. It was not a personal feeling that I had against SuperMega. Again, I'll touch on this more, but I'll complete the summary first. After these videos came out, I posted another video that summarized Matt and Ryan's videos at length, including the evidence they brought forward debunking some of the claims that were made. Now, I included all of this information that was given by both parties in these videos, and I talked about deflections made by Matt and Ryan that attempted to discredit the victim in the story and anyone who was willing to talk about their actions. Now, on the other hand, I talked about mistakes that were made by Layden that ended up doing damage to the victim and her story. Lex publicly stated that she was not happy with Layden's actions and the way he handled the story, and from what I know, they are not on speaking terms anymore. Since then, there has been a narrative pushed by fans of SuperMega, other YouTubers, and SuperMega themselves that has fully embraced the conspiracy that there was an organized attempt to cancel SuperMega and that I am one of the main people behind this attack. I want to be as straightforward as I can be here. You can look at my comments across social media on Instagram and YouTube to see the direct claims being made about me, and I also invite you to watch videos that are popularizing online about my role in this situation so you can come to your own unbiased conclusion. I made an effort to lessen the amount of harassment that was coming towards me and people around me from these videos, but I have not blocked any words. I have not suppressed anything in the comments of these videos, and you are free to comment whatever you want. It is anarchy down there. Today, I'm going to touch on these criticisms as candidly as I can. I have no agenda. I'm not a part of any organized attack to cancel YouTubers. I was not given permission to make this video. I wrote the script. I edited it. Now, just because this video is coming out around the same time as some other creators are talking about SuperMega, that does not mean there is a hidden agenda between people trying to ruin SuperMega's channel. This video being made is not an effort to refuel the fire. Originally, I just wanted to do the best to respect the wishes of the victim in this situation and be quiet about it to try to lessen the amount of harassment happening, because I knew that talking about it would just result in more harassment against Lex and claims that her sexual assault was a flawed story used to harm the SuperMega YouTube channel for clout and attention. This narrative became increasingly popular, taking over all of Lex's social media and resulting in her deleting anything online pertaining to SuperMega or the sexual assault. This, of course, caused even more people to make the assumption that this whole story was a lie. And very recently, this narrative grew aggressively because of a statement given by Ryan McGee on Twitter talking about his feelings on Daniel being used in Lex and Layden's video, and also being used in my video reporting on their videos. Now, because of this, in his statement, he directly mentions me and tags my social media, claiming that I was exploiting Daniel's suicide by including what Layden and Lex said in my video. So why don't we talk about this criticism and others that have been made about me? I do think there are valid criticisms being made about my coverage in the story, but those criticisms are drowned in lies being spread about me and my intentions while reporting on this story. I want to talk about these criticisms pertaining to Daniel first. Now, there are about 30 seconds in each of my videos where I covered it as part of the story Lex was telling and when I talked about SuperMega's response to these claims, and in no way is there any evidence of me making personal claims about my thoughts on Ryan and Matt's relationship with Daniel. I think it is very irresponsible to claim that Daniel was a major point made in either of my videos, and I do believe that Ryan used my name in his statement to try to discredit my story in the way I reported it further. In my video, I directly quoted what was being said in a story I was covering, and I believe that it was necessary to point out that these claims have been made, and of course I wanted to follow that up with what SuperMega thought about those claims. After reporting on this story in both of my videos, I will say that I believe Daniel's suicide should not have been a part of the story told by Lex and Layden. I do not think it was necessary information for anyone to include that in their personal story about SuperMega. I do not believe that means that I should ignore and disregard any mention of Daniel in my story, so I included it. I will say I believe there is a difference between exploiting someone's suicide and including it as a part of someone's experience when making a video about the story. I'm sorry that I talked about Daniel in the video. I think it would have been worse for me to ignore it altogether, but I should have condemned it when it originally came up in Lex and Layden's story. Although I knew people personally involved in the story, I was still a third party who made this video summarizing Lex's story after it was posted, and I can firmly say that I had no part or decision in Daniel becoming a part of Lex or Layden's story. All of the videos about SuperMega that I talked about in my video were made before I even started scripting the story, and I think that the belief that I am heavily tied to the situation and that I brought Daniel's suicide up for no reason is wrong. Making claims that I used Ryan as a main point in my video or that I exploited his suicide for views on the SuperMega story makes it very obvious that Ryan really never watched anything that I made on the situation. If he did, he would see that all mentions of Daniel in my video were quoted from himself, Matt, Lex, or Layden. After Ryan released this statement, I do believe that this talking point, among a few others, has now been used as a way to make wild claims against me and others, deflecting the multiple horrible actions that SuperMega has made in order to spread the conspiracy that I made a hit piece on Matt and Ryan for attention and clout. Even if it may have just been a few, I have seen multiple creators and artists on the internet publicly standing up for SuperMega and using the mention of Daniel to deny all of the accusations against Matt and Ryan. I have seen creators who have firsthand experienced the backlash of telling a story as a victim online who are now backing up SuperMega as if they both didn't fully admit to covering up their friend and employee sexually assaulting another one of their friends. There is verifiable proof that after SuperMega finally let Don go, they didn't tell their fans the reasoning for firing him after weeks of questions about his disappearance from the channel. There is also evidence that Don asked people publicly about housing in Los Angeles and that SuperMega fans offered places for Don to stay under the impression that he was still on good terms with SuperMega and definitely under the impression that he was not a sex offender. There is evidence that Ryan was publicly liking Don's tweets weeks after he was let go for assaulting someone at Matt's house. Ryan has admitted to sexting fans he met online and has agreed that his actions are not worthy of the platform he has. It is embarrassing the kind of people that have been standing publicly with SuperMega when it has been very clear that they are not above denouncing the hate that Lex is receiving because of things they said in their videos. Regardless of Layden's role in the story, Matt and Ryan will not stop anyone from claiming that everything that happened in Lex's story was a lie. Matt and Ryan are well aware of how their audience is responding to this. They see how dishonest the claims are about Lex, myself, and many others. They can say they care about lifting Lex's voices up, and they can say that they are sorry about what they did to her, but it has become very obvious that they do not care how their audience is responding to this. I invite people who are watching my video, who are fans of my channel, to read the comments and really think about how this should be handled. We are currently watching the repeat offense of thousands of people clawing for reasons to defend a YouTuber they like or a friend that they have in their life. And I am sure that many of you are still unsure about how you feel after reading the countless comments of people calling me a liar and claiming that I posted about this situation in malice towards SuperMega. And so I want to briefly touch on some major comments being made about me and give you my thoughts. There are a lot of people theorizing the secret reasons that I must have had to make this video in bad faith to cancel SuperMega, and I think a lot of them are very dumb arguments. One claim that I continue to see being made is that I capitalized on a suicide for clout. Daniel was far from the main thing I talked about in my video and was not a major part of the story at all in any way. And if you watched any of the videos, you would agree with that. The claim that I am capitalizing on anything in these videos is also an argument that is very obviously being done in bad faith. I cover stories on the internet 3 times a week as my job. I covered SuperMega's story in 2 different videos, neither of which were monetized or advertised on because I did not feel that was appropriate for me to profit on a story like this. I didn't make any money reporting on this story, and my only objective for posting about it was to talk about a story that I felt was important. Another reason people are calling me a liar is because they think that I'm friends with Layden, and that this was a part of his plan to cancel SuperMega. I didn't talk to Layden about making this video about SuperMega. I didn't even know that Layden was going to speak out about SuperMega when I started scripting my video about Lex's story. I am not friends with Layden. I do not hang out, and I have never conspirized with him against SuperMega. And if you ask anybody that I know in real life, you'd know that I don't like Layden. I have had negative interactions with Layden in the past, yet I still reported on his word because he was a reputable source as someone who previously worked with SuperMega and was let go. I came to find out that Layden was not a reputable source at all, and I covered that in my follow-up video about SuperMega. The claims Layden made were not at all accurate, and I regret not denouncing them even more than I did in my previous video. I am sorry that I did not dispel more of what Layden said specifically in his video about SuperMega, but I can now say that Layden did nothing but hurt Lex's story, and I think if given the chance, Lex would say the same. Regardless of her personal feelings on Layden, people comment, insult, and degrade these stories as though this means that everything reported is completely invalid. I know that people will continue to relentlessly claim otherwise, but I do not have any ulterior motive for my videos made on SuperMega. I do not have any reason to want them to get canceled, nor do I think they should suffer non-existence from the internet because of this situation. I completely leave the fate of whether or not SuperMega decides to be on the internet in their own hands. There's obviously a large group of people who still support SuperMega and are willing to watch them online, so I don't think it is a problem for them when it comes to being canceled. They even still have their Patreon up and are asking people to subscribe for content that happened before they got canceled. And Don, the person who actually sexually assaulted Lex, continues to have a Patreon as well. But based off their reaction and the way that they turned the narrative on their friend who was assaulted in Matt's house, I fully believe that Matt and Ryan support the conspiracy that Lex's video is nothing but a hit piece on them to ruin their career. Another claim being made about me is that I made my video about SuperMega for clout and attention. If you look at my channel, especially right before I made my videos on SuperMega, you'll see that I don't need or want clout or attention from them. My TikTok drama audience does not overlap with a dying Let's Play channel. And when I initially posted these videos about SuperMega, as expected, they did not perform as well as my normal videos. I wasn't making money off the videos, and there was no reason to believe that these videos would somehow help my career. Most of the attention that I've gotten on those videos has been from people harassing me after being sent to my channel by Ryan and by other YouTubers who are making 3-hour rants about why Lex's experience getting assaulted is a lie made up for attention. I am absolutely not a stranger to hate campaigns like this. I have dealt with months of hate following my coverage on stories like Sneeko or Gus Johnson, both situations where I was harassed endlessly for uplifting the voices of victims who are attacked just like this. It is a never-failing pattern that every time a victim speaks up, their words are dissected and ripped apart by people who want to find any reason to believe that the creator they love is not deeply flawed. I personally do believe that there were a lot of missteps that were taken when speaking out about Matt and Ryan. I think that Lex's video was long and that she spoke about her experience emotionally because of everything that happened to her and the way that her life seemingly fell apart after being sexually assaulted by a friend of hers. I don't think that she's in the wrong for that, regardless of the way that people use that as a way to discredit her story. I also believe that I could have done a better job in reporting this story. I was told by people close to me that these things happened with Matt and Ryan, and I would agree with my initial reaction claiming that they are horrible people. I believe looking back that this title was reactionary, and I disagree with using the specific language in my initial video, and I'm sorry for that. I do not think Matt and Ryan are defined by this experience, nor do I think they are incapable of learning from it and growing to be better examples for their audience. I still stand by my initial opinions on Matt and Ryan's responses, and I don't believe they should be praised or defended as if they are innocent at all in this situation. Matt Watson and Ryan McGee put their audience at risk and lied to the people who watched them because they knew it would negatively affect their image. If you do not agree with me on that, then I do not think that you should watch or consume my content. It is gross the way that people have claimed innocence for Matt and Ryan, and I hope all of you take a good look at the way everyone is reacting to this story before continuing to support the creators you watch and enjoy. None of this means that people should be attacking Lex and the people around her as if this was a proven, calculated attack to use Lex's assault as a way to cancel some YouTubers. It disappoints me that people who watch my channel would buy into the idea that I would risk my career and safety to ruin someone else's YouTube channel. Another claim that is being made about me is that I made my initial video without looking at the evidence or letting SuperMega speak about their side on the issue. If you know my channel, especially at that time, I was posting constantly and I was always trying to be the quickest one to get to a story. I followed up Lex's story and gave it a couple days to see what happened, and in that video I said that I would be immediately following up with a new video after Ryan and Matt give their response to the situation. After they responded, I immediately scripted and put together my second video on the situation, which is even longer than the first video. I put it out a couple days later, and I was careful not to mince words on what Matt and Ryan thought about this controversy. I did not hide anything they said. Since then, there have been constant claims that have been made acting as if I never followed up on this situation, even though my video on their responses was even more detailed than the video I made about Lex's story. Regardless, almost every comment I've seen acts as if I've never reported on what happened after Matt and Ryan responded. So much of the criticism I have received from making these videos has been from people who never took the time to watch any of the videos I made about the situation, and it becomes increasingly more obvious that they took the word of people deflecting from the truth rather than actually watching all of the videos involved. You cannot watch a video from another creator or even from Matt and Ryan claiming that I am a liar without even watching the content that I made in the first place. That is the definition of attacking someone in bad faith, and I do believe that I looked at all of their videos and reported on them as accurately as I could. As I've always said, I want the people who watch my videos to come to their own conclusion. Watch my videos on SuperMega, but also watch their videos and watch the videos of people constantly criticizing me and saying that I am acting in complete dishonesty. Now, if I were to go back and change anything. I do think I should have waited until Matt and Ryan responded to everything before talking about it. In hindsight, that is a big mistake that I will not be making in the future, and I'm sorry for that. I like to report on news as quickly as I can, and I did so with both my videos in this case, but specifically with this story, I should have absolutely waited on a response by SuperMega and made one big video about it rather than separating both stories, and I am very sorry to everybody involved for making that mistake. I definitely need to take a look at my content and look at the way that I can impact other people as a result of telling my stories. This situation has told me that I need to take a lot more care when it comes to reporting these stories, and I will not make that mistake in the future, and I apologize. After thinking about how to address this for a while, I decided to unlist both my videos about SuperMega to diffuse as much harassment as I can, and hopefully put this situation to rest. I'm going to link both unlisted videos in the description so there is still a way to access and watch them, but I do not want the public to come across them anymore because of the way that it has affected everyone. I believe Lex is going to publicly talk about all of these claims in the near future, so some questions that were made directly towards her and her story should be answered there. But again, our social media accounts are not controlled the same way. I am not in consistent communication with her, and I am not associated with how she goes about telling her story. If you come across this video and you look at everything and you feel like you want to stop watching the channel, that is your decision. And if you want to keep watching me and you want to keep seeing what I'm doing, I'll be back on Monday.